This is the second part to getting the lines moving. So as we see, we've got lines on our road, but they're not moving. So we need to get them moving. And the way that we're going to get them moving is within the play game. We've got a number of options that we can move them along. So we can set up a loop here, or we can create a function to move the lines. So I prefer to create a function that's going to move the lines. So we can invoke that and have that completely separate of the movement of our car. So setting up that function that's going to move lines. We need to use query selector all and select those elements as an object. And we created those elements with a class of line, an object called lines using document. In this case, we're using query selector all because we want to select all of the elements with a class of line. And then we can loop through all of those elements. Let's loop through the lines object. So this is a node list, and we can use the for each to loop through each one of those items, creating a function, and we can grab those by using item. And we're going to need to have a variable for its y position. So just as we set it for the car, we can also set it for our line as well. So as we're generating out those lines, we can take the element and we can give it a y position. And that y position will be whatever the value of x times 150 is. So that's its starting position of y. And then we can use that value of y. So as we're looping through, we can see console log item, and we can see a value of y for each one of those items. So just make sure that it is working. So we see that we've got all of those value of y's, and we can do a condition to check if item y is greater than 750. And if it is, then we're going to reset the value of item y to be 0. Or we're going to actually set the value of y to minus 750. And then what we need to do is we need to set the value of item style top to be equal to item y plus pix. So just as we did before. And then we take item y, and we're going to increment it by the value of player speed. So let's see how that looks. So start that up. And actually, this is reversed because we're adding to it, so we're not setting it equal plus. If we do it that way, then it's always going to be 5. And the same with this one here. We need to minus the 750 off of it. So let's refresh. And so now we see that we've got these lines that are running, and they're running all the way down. So we actually need to do something a little bit different as well for this. So maybe let's subtract even more off of it, so we can do 1,000 off of it. Let's try that one more time. So let's create some additional lines. So create 10 lines. And so that's going to be a max width of 1,500. And so now instead of checking for 750, let's check for max of 1,500. So now we've got all of the lines showing up. And we also have our car moving. So we've got it moving across the lines. So notice that it's on top of the lines because we added that element afterwards. So go ahead and add in the lines for your road. And coming up next, we need to create some cars that are going to be obstacles within the game. So that's still to come in the upcoming lessons.